Yeah, it's really hard. The starting place, we assume that on a 10-person team, you're going to have some people kind of who've been doing this work for a long time, maybe because they've been in a body that has forced them to do the work, right? Not because they wanted to. And then there's going to be other people that have been living inside of a body that has created a lot of stress, and they're not necessarily the experts in the work, but they're being looked at as though they're experts, right? So that there's that. And then there's people who are like, oh my God, I know we need to do this work and I'm shit scared. I don't want to look like a racist. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm frozen and I'm, fragile and I'm nervous, which the level of cortisol in our brains when we feel like that is going to prevent much learning, right? All you're going to do is be thinking about how stressed you are. And then there's people who are really like, I'm not sure this work is necessary. I kind of think that anyone who signs up for a cohort that says we're trying to become anti-racist, we will have less of that sort of like emerging awakening, but they will be in the room. And we will do some work in our first session as a leadership team to bring to introduce the framework that we are going to work from and to kind of level set some language. We'll also do some in-between and pre-work to kind of bring people along. And the truth is that if we're waiting for everyone to be in the same place to do the work, we're never going to do anything. So part of the work is for those of us that understand the language to activate. There's a place in that framework, the Journeys of Race and Culture framework, which we will also do very early in the series, in the first week of the launch. And I think everyone should come to that. It's like a really good way to understand what is about to happen. That framework, it ends in a place that's called facilitative leadership. So it suggests that those of us that have come along on a journey, it is our job to go back and support those that are still emerging to move through the different stages of the process. And nobody wants to work with the people who are way behind us because it's a pain. It's a lot of labor. It's hard to remember, like, why are you confused about this? Like, why do I have to explain this to you? And it's hard to sometimes do it too. It's hard to come up with the words and the language. So the idea of a cohort is that we will be in different places. And the skills that we have to practice is how do we interact, grapple, debate, and bring someone else along. And also create new organizational practices. When you change your organizational practices, the behaviors will change. And when the behaviors change, your outcomes will change.